so
I
hard
love
not
it.
to stuff in my suitcase when we were there.
Ugh.
So
And
Well-
this is why
so fun.
Jeff is really a gnome. And
How
not a
far are
troll.
you from Montreal?
5-hour drive. I have to go to
Never
Montreal for the
mind.
Comic-Con in 2 weeks. Yeah. We're
I will
we're
be
doing a-
doing Fan
Yes.
Expo there, I
Yes.
think. I'll be there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
That's
be
more
there.
than 2 weeks, though. That's
Yeah.
more than 2 weeks. That's
Oh,
like,
okay. Is it July?
that's
Oh,
like
13th, 14th. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, I saw you on the
Ish.
website. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I'll be
yeah,
there.
because I'm going to Long Island first, and then I'm going to stay in New York, and then head up to Montreal. So they're kind of back-to-back weekends.
Okay.
But I'll see you there. I'll see you
Yeah.
there.
Cool.
yeah. If
Love
you go
that.
to, I think if you go to Niagara Falls, aren't you almost directly across the lake?
From what?
Oh, Niagara Falls.
From
if you
what?
go-
Me? No.
Yeah,
No, no.
aren't you? Isn't it pretty
No.
close to that?
No. Niagara Falls is
More east.
west
Oh,
that
west?
way. I'm
Oh,
I'm
okay.
east. Yeah. Yeah, Lake Ontario is big. I mean,
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. Okay, Ed, you wanted to ask him more about his lair.
Yeah, I'm looking at this cool room you're sitting in, and
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, we all gather stuff. What? And you've already told us about the table and the people's names on it, but what other things in that room make you go, I have to have this to feel like I'm in my zone? Or
Well, there's a lot of Kenner and Mego.
Mhm.
Kenner action figures and Mego. Let me see if I can give you a tour. I don't know how long this stretches, but so this is
Whoa.
the Atari. There's
Wow.
an Atari 2600
Ah!
and a CRT TV.
Wow.
And then this is an easy chair with a blanket made out of my Star Wars T-shirts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then there's so as you can see, there's a jock
Oh.
print there. There's some Zeppelin on the ceiling. Is a lot of rock. There's sticks.
And that's
Nice.
what I loved. I saw the ceiling. I thought, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Over here there's some Star Trek stuff. The light's not on.
Right.
There's some Star Trek Mego and Planet of the Apes Mego and some Spider-Man Mego and a lot of Star Wars Kenner. We swing it around here. There is a goblin. I think it's Pathfinder goblin design.
Yep.
Uh,
Recognize it.
And
Yeah.
then there's my dragon. That's Gary and Dave.
Nice. That's great.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Nice. Oh
That
my
is
He's
so
god!
almost
beautiful.
he's almost out of juice. He
Love
needs
that.
more juice.
Oh,
wow.
little fog juice. in there.
And then there's some Michael Whelan, and then there's some Easley. There's a Larry Elmore that's not up right now. There's a Frazetta. Then I just got that. I met the guy at GaryCon that makes the Green Devil head
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
from Tomb of Horrors. And then there's the Dungeon Master area with the Afriti, and there's Moloch, and then there's the Githyanki. There's the Hand and Eye of Vecna. This is
Yes.
from 12 Monkeys. That's from 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the bell from 12 Monkeys. Yeah, it just kind of goes on and on and on and on and on.
Oh, I love
Greg
look
Tito
at
gave me
this.
the Tomb of Horrors pillow.
Oh my god.
This is my DM. This is my DM's chair.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh my
And-
god.
So you feel better when you're amongst all your stuff.
Well, it's a sanctum sanctorum, right? It's
Yeah.
this is like it's like listening to your favorite band. I walk in here and it's a kind of such an external expression of the things that motivate me. As my friend Judd says, these are totems of power. These are the things. Oh, there's a bunch of arcade machines over there too.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice. Look at that.
And they all work, right?
They all work. Yeah. These are the
Nice.
reproductions. These are the arcade
Yeah.
one-ups. So they're
Mhm.
they're a smaller size.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And not nearly as pricey as
Yeah.
getting the originals.
Oh,
But so we touched on it earlier, which is all of these seeds of inspiration, the things that sparked me to become a creator and an artist, that stuff doesn't go away, right? That stuff still is the wind in my sails, and it touches on that kind of time in our life where we thought anything's possible. We weren't burdened by the limitations of a chosen career. Right. We just woke up every summer morning, ran over to our buddy Jim's house and dreamed. Like we would just gather around the table and roll dice and take out our graph paper and go. Or we would walk out into, there was a big field that was being developed before they plowed it over and did houses, but it was a overgrown Midwest field with hills and stuff, and we would essentially, I guess they call it LARPing now, but we would just go on an adventure playing our characters out into the field when we were 12 years old and go and it was the 80s, so we'd be out until the streetlights came on, as they say. And so to what you were asking, Ed, these are totems of power, right? These are the things that fuel me, inspire me, and plus, it's Christmas morning when I invite people in who've never been here before. They walk in and there's just something to look at everywhere you look. I have the Star Wars crawl up there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But so what I wanted to do was build the 80s basement of my dream, that late 70s, early. I mean, I literally have orange shag carpet.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing wrong with orange shag carpet, although I usually see it in the backs of vans, and there
you go.
It's been, how shall I say, trampled down.
Yeah, you might want to take a shampoo machine to that.
Yeah,
and certainly not a black light.
Yeah.
No,
but
like a Jackson.
So this, right. This stuff. Over in the corner, I have. There's a beholder, and there's a. Let's see if I can get it. There's a mind flare and there's a beholder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to get the owl bear head. There's an owl bear head that I want to get. But yeah, it's this stuff really inspires me, and it just feels right. I feel like I'm going down to the basement, and I feel like we're shutting out the rest of the world. If the joke that I said is, if you had told 12-year-old Todd that someday he'd have a game table with his signature on it, I would say, yeah, that totally tracks. Because we thought we were invincible at that age, and we, and nowadays, as a grown person, I am living the dreams that I dreamt as a kid, right? Like the fact that I get to be a Starfleet captain, the fact that I've made the kind of entertainment that I used to just be a consumer of.
Right.
And I make that stuff as a writer and as an actor because this is who I am. Right? Like I know the joy that all of this brought to me, and so I know what I want to bring out into the world and inspire other 12-year-old. My daughter is a dungeon master now.
Oh wow!
Oh,
that's
nice.
great.
And my son actually is
DMing for years.
My son is a paid DM now. He felt weird about doing it. He runs a paid DM. He runs like 2 paid games a month now.
I love it.
And he plays in like 3 games a week. So it's not doing good for his college career right now, but
but
this also might be his calling. Like,
it might be.
This may end up being who he is, whether he ends up being a writer or ends up just being a professional dungeon master, or if he ends up, creating books and like. You got to fan the flames of where they're burning.
Well, I got to tell you, just a brief stint on Star Trek. He lives at the dorm. He lives off campus here at UCF in Florida. He came over. He was at the house for something, and he goes, "What are you watching?" I said, "I'm watching Picard." And I said, "You watch this. Watch this." And it was the one that you were in it, right? And he watched the whole episode with me. He wasn't going to do it, and he watched the whole episode, and he goes, "Oh my God, I hope they keep him." He goes, "I know." I said, "Isn't he great?" And then I found out that character was written based on Robert Shaw's character in Jaws.
Was that not
Not 100%.
not based on, clearly it's certainly that monologue certainly
Yes, that's
is
it.
inspired by the Jaws monologue and the
Yes.
character. So when looking to name the character, obviously Quint would have been a little too on the nose.
Right.
So they named him Shaw, inspired by Robert Shaw, because
Right.
obviously that sort of harrowing PTSD moment and the shape of the scene was sort of intimate around a table where people are sharing good stories that then go very dark.
Right.
Yeah, same thing
Yeah.
that happened in Jaws. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Except,
that's what I'm
except
saying.
the difference is, now that I'm older, I know that during the filming of that Robert Shaw was about half a bottle into a bottle of scotch, I think, when he did that scene.
His son actually just did a stage play based on Jaws.
Oh, really?
And he plays his dad. I met his daughter at a Brit Week function a few weeks back, and I got to tell her, I'm like, my Star Trek character is named after your dad. And what was wild is we were out front of this hotel in Santa Monica when I was telling her the story, waiting for the car to pull up so that Patrick could come out. So I was there to help, greet and bring Patrick into the event.
Right.
So I was like telling her about my Star Trek character while we're waiting for Picard himself to show.
Wow. Now, would 12-year-old Todd have even dreamed of that?
100%.
There
Are you kidding
go.
me?
He had it laid
Look,
out.
let's be honest. I wouldn't be doing this now if I didn't have an inflated sense of self.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And I don't mean I mean that half kidding, but I was always the kid that was like, oh, people are in the movies. I'm a person, therefore half the battle is done.
That's right.
Like,
Nice.
Qualify. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I never had that sense of like, this is pie in the sky. I can't do this. It was just
Right.
like, oh, because I remember there's a very specific moment, sort of tangentially. I was in the car listening to Elvis on a cassette tape. So this might have been the mid to late 70s. I was listening to an Elvis on a little Radio Shack thing. So it's probably early 80s. And it dawned on me that was Elvis's job. Like, oh, that's what he gets. Like when he gets up, my dad gets up and he goes to work, and that's how he feeds his family. Elvis gets up and he goes to work, but his work is like, that's when it clicked, but it clicked at a young age.
Right.
And then once it was like, because I think before then movie stars were like these things that just existed out in the world. They were like, there's a great book about it, which talks about the sort of the godlike nature, why we bestow that on film actors is because they're physically larger than life.
Right.
And because when we meet them, they're 50 feet tall and they can be in two places at once. Like your brain is going, this person is actually in LA somewhere, but they're also right in front of me.
Right in front of me. Right.
So they have godlike abilities. And I think television actors are treated a little different because we literally come into your living room.
Yeah.
And you spend time with us week after week. But
And
movie
everybody
stars
thinks they know you.
Right. Yeah.
and which is a wonderful thing, and it's also a strange thing because I don't know the people that I'm meeting, but they know more about me than I know about them. But so what I was so backing up to what I was saying is Elvis's job that could be somebody's job, and so I think that's when it clicked to me that entertainment is just another craft that you put your time into. So I've never been like, I've always respected actors and I've always enjoyed and like really enjoyed meeting Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, and those were like giddy bucket list moments. But it's never been this like, I can't imagine this would ever happen to me because it's all I really imagined ever happening to me.
Right. Yeah. Got
Right,
it. Yeah.
Right. Oh my
I
God.
didn't have, like, I would say mid high school forward, I had no other trajectory for myself. So the idea that I'm acting with Patrick Stewart, you go, yep, plan's working.
Yeah. Okay.
And I admire him, and I learn a lot from him as an actor who's been at it longer than me. So his starter pistol went off here, mine went off here. And we have different paths that somehow they ended up crossing. And he was in the 90s, after I had gotten out of college and was pursuing acting at Second City, I was already thinking and being a professional actor when I was made aware of Picard and Riker and all of those people.
Right,
I was like,
right.
oh, they're in the career that I want to do. What can I learn from them? How did they get there? Not, oh my God, I'll trip over myself if I ever met them. Like, it was never like that. I'm like that with musicians. Like, if I met Styx, I don't know what. If I met Paul McCartney, I'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know what I would do. But actors, like, we're all craftsmen. We're all in the same career.
Right.
Meeting Ed, I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
No, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. And for me, it's the other way around, because Rush was my high school band.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And
see?
and you see, the one I wanted to and was geeking out was Genesis.
Oh,
and my
yep.
and my father said, "Oh, okay, I'll take you to Charterhouse next time we're over the pond." And I said, "What's Charterhouse?" And he says, "A school, and they were all in the boys' choir, a religious boys' choir." Oh, okay. And then when the Stones came to Toronto, my wife and I saw them at the Elmo, which is a club that is probably about as big as the room you're sitting in. Yeah. And it was a hot summer night, so they propped all the doors open.
Oh.
And this was like Preston on drums. This is the Wood era.
Mm-hmm.
But so literally, Mick is sweating all over us and spitting all over us as he sings. And he's leaning forward and wiping his sweat on his sleeves. And finally, some girl put her arms around him, and he said, "I'm going to wipe my sweat on you." and
That's
he
so
took
fun.
he took a sip of her beer because it was there. You know, it was that close.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
so great.
for me, that's like, oh, okay. So it's not thrilling because I was always doing stuff because my parents met in the church choir. And so they were always dragging us along because they always needed basses. So I got
It was
dragged along.
demystified for you.
Yeah.
For me, like when I get like the people that I get giddy over meeting are the people that often like I kind of half met George Lucas, and I was like, ugh. Like the people that have actually
Absolutely.
reached into my soul and did things that I don't do.
Right.
Like I said. So I got to meet Drew Struzan, and I got to chat with him for like 20 minutes at a convention once, and I'm like, his work has filled my eyeballs and my heart for so long that I just and meeting like Bill Sienkiewicz and Paul Pope and meeting like comic book artists through the years. And, like if I met Neil Gaiman, it'll be weird. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the people that make me quote unquote fanboy. And again, I adore Jonathan Frakes. I adore LeVar Burton. I was never like scared to work with them or felt out of my element or out of my league. Like I go, no, I'm a 50-plus-year-old actor who's been in the business for 30 years. I'm doing my job, and I'm excited to do my job with people whose work I respect and enjoy. But it was never like, I was never freaking out. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was more allowing myself the presence of mind to soak it all in, more about the Star Trek of it all and less about meet Marina Sirtis and Jerry Ryan and Gates McFadden. I'm like, I love these people, but I was more like, this is my bridge, and this is my crew, and this is my uniform, and this is my phaser. Like that stuff made me like awesome. And I think it all really hit home the most when it really started becoming out of body for me and sort of understanding where it sits in people's lives, which was we had the premiere at the Chinese theater, and when I walked after we walked the red carpet and did all our little press and everything, and there was a whole bank of fans and they were having us sign stuff. But then I walked into the Chinese theater, of which there's a photograph of like 10-year-old me kneeling at Darth Vader's footprints.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm walking into that theater and seeing my uniform that I wore for 6 months in a glass case on a mannequin.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
You're not
Because I've been that guy who loves all of the behind the scenes. I love
Sure.
seeing the materials.
right.
And the
right.
thing that I just would like take off a hanger and put on every day was like there for people like taking pictures of it
Right.
and having me stand next to it and taking pictures with me. I'm like, oh, got it. Star Trek.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, wouldn't that be nice to add to your Nerd Lair? Was that uniform?
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
Yeah.
It'll never- I do have in the corner, it's kind of hard to see. I have The Witness from 12 Monkeys, the medieval version of that costume.
Oh, do you?
Kenny Metellus gave me that. And another thing that I'm having, Bill Krause, the man who designed the Titan, which is another one of my tattoos.
Oh,
shit.
That's so great.
Oh my God.
He's going to build me a scale model of the Titan with LEDs and
Oh,
Wow.
sweet.
How great is that?
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a collector.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit.
You,
Yeah.
you are living the dream.
Burning on the cross, burning to the very end. Shake hands with the devil for all the evil you have done. Shake hands with the devil. Now your judgment day has on your darkest day, hell and fury have their way. The reaper comes for you. Rest upon your final grave. Shake hands with the devil for all the evil you have done.
La 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 la